In today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 Nintendo Switch emulators for low-end Android devices with at least 4 GB of RAM. So if you love playing Nintendo Switch games on your phone but don't have a high-end device, then this video is for you. Well, I'll discuss 5 emulators and also walk you through each emulator, highlighting their main features, ease of use, and what you can expect in terms of performance. Now let's dive in. The first on the list is Skyline emulator. Skyline emulator is open source project built especially for mobile Nintendo Switch emulation. It is designed with low-end devices in mind, so even phones with 4 GB of RAM can give it a try. Skyline's lightweight design means that it uses minimal system resources, allowing less demanding games to run at acceptable speed. Users often find that with some adjustments in settings like lowering the resolution or disabling extra graphical effects, the gameplay becomes smoother. The app has a simple interface with clear menus and options that let you fine-tune performance settings. And you can easily change the frame rate cap and adjust other graphics features to balance between visual quality and smoothness. Since Skyline is still in active development, there are regular updates that often bring improvement compatibility and performance. However, because it's constantly evolving, you might encounter occasional glitches or compatibility issues with certain titles. So with the installation, it's straightforward. Download the APK from the official Skyline website or its GitHub page, install it on your device and load your games file. Online guides and community forums provide plenty of help if you run into any setup issues, as many users share their experience and tweaks to optimize various games. This makes it a solid choice for those with a 4 GB device who want to experiment with Nintendo Switch emulation on Android. Now the next on the list is Nyushu emulator. Nyushu emulator is a fork of yuzu that has been optimized for Android devices with low-end hardware. As a yuzu based emulator, Nyushu inherits many core features from its parent project, but it tweaks to perform better on phones with around 4 GB of RAM. The developers have streamlined its code, reducing unnecessary overhead and focusing on performance improvements suitable for mobile environments. Nyushu offers a clean and simple user interface. When you launch the emulator, the menus and settings are straightforward, making it easy for beginners to adjust performance parameters such as resolution, frame rate, and graphics quality. This simplicity is especially helpful on devices with limited resources, as it minimizes the extra load on your phone. Early user reports indicate that many Nintendo Switch games run at acceptable speed on Nyushu, provided that you may need to lower some settings, although there might be occasional issues with certain titles. The emulator is steadily improving through frequent updates. The community behind Nyushu is growing and users often share configuration tips and fixes online, which can help you optimize your gaming experience. Now the next on the list is Citron emulator. Well, I recommend this emulator to you guys, so let me explain it. Citron emulator is another user fork adapted for Android devices. So Citron focuses on striking a balance between performance and compatibility, making it a viable option for phones with at least 4 GB of RAM. Building on the robust framework of yuzu, Citron has been refined for mobile use, aimed to reduce resource consumption while still delivering a good gaming experience. The emulator's interface is designed to be user-friendly and easy to navigate. You will find a clear layout that lets you adjust performance settings such as a resolution scaling, frame rate, and graphical enhancement. These options allow you to tailor the experience to your device limitation, helping ensure smoother gameplay even on lower specs hardware. Citron is optimized to use system sources efficiently. The developers have streamlined many processes so that Nintendo Switch games can run without putting too much strain on your phone CPU and RAM. While some users might occasionally encounter glitches or performance issues with certain titles, these are usually resolved through periodic updates and community feedback. The active community around Citron is another advantage, as many gamers share their settings and tips online. Now the next on the line is Ziunx emulator. So what is Ziunx emulator? Ziunx emulator is a yuzu fork that is especially optimized for Android devices with Mali GPU, which are common in many budget smartphones. So if your device has a Mali GPU and a 4GB of RAM, Ziunx must be a particular good choice for Nintendo Switch emulation. So Ziunx focuses on delivering a lightweight performance by minimizing resources usage. Its code has been adapted to reduce memory overhead and processing demand, which helps many games run stable frame rates on low specs hardware. The emulator provides several performance adjustments options such as resolution scaling and graphical quality tweaks, allowing you to refine-tune the settings based on your device compatibility. The user interface in Ziunx is simple and clear. Menus are organized in a user-friendly manner so that even those who are new to emulation can easily navigate through the settings. This simplicity is key on lower-end devices where every bit of saved resources counts. Although Ziunx, like any other emulator in development, might experience occasional glitches or compatibility hiccups with certain games. Please note, Ziunx emulator is no more in development, so meaning if you manage to get the APK, there is no proof that you will get a further update in the near future. Now moving on to the final or the last part, we have Suyu emulator. So Suyu emulator is the final yuzu fork we will discuss today. Like Nyushu, Citron and Ziunx, Suyu is built on the yuzu framework and modified for better performance on Android devices with limited resources. Suyu aims to offer Nintendo Switch emulation that is accessible to users with 4GB of RAM by optimizing the core functions of yuzu for a mobile environment. Suyu features a straightforward user interface with clear menus that lets you easily access and modify performance settings. This includes options to adjust to resolution, frame rates, and other graphics settings. These features are essential on lower-end devices as they help conserve system resources while still delivering a playable gaming experience. The developers behind Suyu have focused on streamlining the emulator codes to minimize CPU and RAM usage. Early access reports that many popular Nintendo Switch games runs at acceptable speed when using Suyu emulator, although some settings adjustments must be necessary for best experience. As with other yuzu forks, occasional bugs or glitches may occur, but these are generally addressed in regular updates. Please note, Suyu emulator is no more in development, meaning if you manage to get the APK installed on your mobile phone, there is no proof that you are going to get updates in the near future. So in summary, we've explored 5 great options for Nintendo Switch emulation on low-end Android devices with at least 4GB of RAM. Skyline emulators stand out as a community-driven project with a lightweight design that minimizes resources usage. Meanwhile, Nyushu, Citron, Ziunx, and Suyu are all yuzu-based forks, each tailored to overcome the challenge of running demanding Switch games on a limited hardware. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this guide helpful, please like, share and subscribe for more gaming tips and emulator reviews. Leave a comment below on which emulator you plan to try or if you have any questions. Happy gaming and I will see you in the next video.